Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm a first year medical student from the University of Cyberjaya, and today I'll be talking about a drug known as Losartan. Specifically, I'll be talking about what the drug does to the body. In this case, a term is called pharmacodynamics. So, meet Losartan. Losartan is a drug used for hypertension, which means that it treats high blood pressure and is also used in other diseases such as diabetic renal failure, or in this case, kidney failure caused by diabetes, and also heart failure. It's usually taken in tablets, so it's a very convenient way to actually ingest the drug. How it acts in the body. Now, how losartan acts in the body? So, losartan, as said before, reduces blood pressure in patients whose BP is elevated. So it works as a blocker for a specific receptor in the body. So it blocks a substance known as angiotensin 2 from binding to a receptor initiating effect. So it blocks angiotensin 2. And I will explain what is angiotensin 2 in further slide. So what is angiotensin 2? Angiotensin 2 is a type of molecule in a regulatory cascade known as the RAS, or its long name is renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. So this is basically just a cascade of hormones that help regulate blood pressure, and not only blood pressure, it helps regulate volume and also electrolyte levels in the body, or in this case salt. Angiotensin 2 does not exist by itself. It actually comes from a precursor known as angiotensinogen, or it's actually a pre-hormone. So before I explain the cascade, here's how a blocker acts. In the case for losartan, the receptor is located on the blood vessels and adrenal glands, which are actually located above the kidney. So here's hormone angiotensin 2, and here's the receptor. So when you have losartan blocks the hormone from binding to the receptor. So the hormone is unable to initiate its effect after binding to the receptor. So here's a simple diagram on the body. A simple diagram on the blood pressure control system. It's actually the RAAS. So here's angiotensin 2. As said before, it comes from angiotensinogen. And with the help of renin, which is another hormone, it converts it to angiotensinogen followed by angiotensin 2. And what happens is that angiotensin 2 is the active hormone, and it will actually bind to the receptor in the blood vessels and adrenal glands. So for the blood vessels, it causes vasoconstriction, which means that your blood vessels will be narrower, hence there will be higher blood flow, thus there is increased blood pressure. And for the adrenal glands, it stimulates the release of aldosterone. So aldosterone will actually increase sodium reabsorption. So there's more sodium reabsorption, there is higher sodium content in the body, which leads to increased blood pressure as well. Now, that was the normal process. Now, what happens if you add losartan? Here's what happens when you add losartan. First, angiotensin 2 is blocked from binding to its receptor in the blood vessels and adrenal glands. So this leads to vasoconstriction not happening at all. So vasoconstriction does not happen, and sodium reabsorption also does not happen. The blood vessels will be dilated because there is no vasoconstriction, which means there is more blood flow allowed. And since there's no sodium reabsorption, you have a lower sodium content in your body. Since blood vessels are dilated, there is less resistance in your blood vessels, and there's less sodium in your body, you have a lower blood pressure. So this is actually how it helps lower blood pressure in hypertensive patients. So however, as every drug has its side effects, losartan 2 also has some common side effects. So these are the 3 common side effects. First one is muscle cramps caused by salt imbalance. As said before, it stops sodium reabsorption. So since there's less sodium reabsorption, you might have an imbalance of salt, so which leads to muscle cramps, and you will have